We're flagging in the daytime? That's crazy. Hi, hello everyone, my name is Jer, and I'm not wearing pants right now. I do everything on this channel regarding Drag Race, from the international seasons to mainline, rejudging, critiquing, and I have a weekly podcast. For anyone that's never heard this before, I actually started doing drag back in 2016. I debuted under a completely different name, and then for a long time I was going by Lavender Organza. She was a fun time, and I do miss a lot of elements of performing, but I don't miss nightclubs at all. I don't miss going out in drag and being home at 3 in the morning completely alone, but I miss the sisterhood of it all. I miss a lot of the camaraderie of drag. I miss being in a room full of people that are excited about what I'm doing and are laughing along with me, because I love to do comedy camp numbers. I've been in a cleaning itch lately, and so I just want to throw away a bunch of stuff right now and make room for new activities and new hobbies. And a part of my journey that I think is over now is drag. That doesn't mean I don't want to play with makeup, because I still do, and I want to turn some looks every now and again. But this character that I played for a long time, I think I'm ready to put her on a shelf and acknowledge that that was a good time and I loved every part of it. So today I'm going to be sharing some of my essential drag items for those of you who are starting out, or maybe have already started but don't quite know where to go next as far as cosmetics are concerned. There's a lot of stuff in my drawer of drag right now that I'm probably going to end up keeping just for personal use. But let's get into this, yeah? I want to clean. I don't know why there's a random spool of thread in here. This is crazy. A lot of people think when I'm doing Drag Race reviews that I'm just being difficult to be difficult. And that's a pretty common, huge misconception, because so many Drag Race reviewers are fairly homogenous and have the same ideas as each other. I'm someone who was not allowed to express myself the way that I wanted to as a kid, and I grew up having this idea that my thoughts did not matter, and so I just said what everybody else did. As I got into my 30s, I realized everything I had been doing up until then really didn't help anybody except hurt me. So I made a very conscious decision that I was gonna say whatever I want, however I wanted to say it, and I wasn't going to care if people liked or disliked it. So I'm never trying to critique Drag Race to be intentionally difficult, but to not hold back on my opinions. And I'm not gonna apologize for that. Girl, if y'all do not have eyelashes, these are some classic 301s. I got them from just some random hair place. Literally just a lady wig shop. Oh, my Morphe brush palette. This is gross. This is powder for your eyebrows. This was some type of wax that you were supposed to put in your brows to lay them flat, and then these were the colors that you'd put on. This is a chop. You want to cream and then to set them with powder, but I find it's more effective if you set them with eyeshadow because those are much more pigmented. These types of palettes are typically used for every day. I don't even think Morphe's in session anymore. I think that class closed. The one thing I cannot recommend enough for upcoming drag queens is the Mayron Cream Blend Stick. It is a cheaper alternative to the TV Paint Stick by Cryolon by several many dollars. I haven't gotten this in many years, but I know that they're still in business because Amazon asks if I want it all the time. And then highlight with a very severe light color. I always used white because I have pretty fair skin. And most people that I knew used a paint stick for their contouring, but I just used a concealer, not in this color, obviously. I don't know where my dark concealer is right now. I think I'm gonna throw this out. It's been opened. This one I think I can actually hold on to. Y'all need a good blush kit. I don't care what brand it is. If it has colors that you like, you need a blusher. Please do not go out there with a flat face and no color, because when that spotlight hits you when you're performing, you're going to look like a ghost. You need to have some color on your face so that the audience is not like, oh, more crusty lashes. Always have excess in lashes. They sell these sometimes in bulks of like 7 to 10. One thing I get asked often is who my favorite drag queen is across the franchise. And I would definitely say that's Alexis Mateo. I think that she has been highway robbed multiple times. What do we have here? Glitters! Girl, get yourself some creamy glitters. This definitely has got to get thrown out, but I mean, look at the pigmentation on this. This is so old. I got this before pandemic lockdown. These are really good for using right on the lids after you've done all of your base work. Creams, contours, highlights, whatever you're doing on your face After you've done your powders, I put this on. It stays. I've never had a problem. This was a good kit. I have more highlights back here, and I might actually keep this one because I think this one's probably still good, yeah? Let's see what the purple does. Oh, that's Puss. Oh, we're keeping her. She is definitely staying. Yes, a diva. I've been holding on to this Morphe one for dear life, and this one's actually been working me out. I'm not a medical professional, and so you don't have to listen to me, but I throw out cream stuff after like a year, but powders, I never throw them out. Any doctors in chat, just keep your opinion to yourself. I don't care. Girl, I have stickers back here. I have Fallout stickers back here. This is so fun. Oh, hairbands. Cannot recommend enough having hairbands if you have long hair. I used to have enough that I could put it up in a bun. So I would usually do 2 bands, get it really tight, and then just bobby pin the crap out of my hair. My wigs that never fell off. There are a lot of things you could say about me as a drag queen, but you could never accuse my hair of coming off because it never did. My shoes have come off. There was one time I was in the club and I did a death drop because I thought I'd be Puss. She fell to the ground, the shoe came off, but it stayed on because it was one of those strappy shoes. And I looked down in horror at my foot, saw that my shoe was dangling and tried to fix it, but it was one of those that you have to slide your foot through a strap in the front. And that was way too much work. The song was almost over. So I just hobbled around the club as if I was still on both of my heels. This lady was like turning up and she was like, yes, looks down, sees my shoe dangling off of me, covers her mouth in a gasp, reaches over to her friend and pulls out a stack of ones and just hands them to me like, I'm so sorry. That was fierce. Ooh, okay, this was a really great shimmer set. This was one that's on a bulb. So you take it off and you rub it. Always recommend something shimmery. If you have anything with glitter, that is your best friend as a drag queen. Oh, that smells. That's definitely gotta go. Drag queen essential, have some eyelash glue. This is just the duo one. Drag is excitement, but drag is danger. There are a lot of longtime queens that will insist that you use weave bond glue for your lashes. Drag is a blip. Do not cause blindness on your eye by sticking wig glue on your lashes. Just get some cheapy glue that is meant for your lashes at the drugstore. This one dries clear. You really don't need that much and it does what needs to be done. Always have a hairnet of some kind. I'm actually gonna keep this because I still wear wigs every now and again, but this is just one that I literally got from Daiso. It is a black mesh. Stick it right on top of your hair. You can bobby pin it into this very easily. I recommend air spun for any type of setting powder. A lot of queens gatekeep the hell out of this, but it's super easy. Make sure you have this. They also have, I believe, banana powder. They have the natural ones, but translucent is where you want to go. That's how I always set all my makeup. There are some girlies who I knew that never set their makeup. Just went out there with creamy face, and I could not. Okay, so maybe this is a little janky, but I kept one of those school boxes that are meant for your pencils and stuff, and I used that to store all of my sponges. And I just used these little cheapy ones that you get from the store in those huge packs, these little foamy ones. One-time use. I never used a beauty blender. Actually, that's a lie. I used a beauty blender once and I did not like it. I'm keeping this. I had pressed powder for some reason. I'm gonna throw that out. Spoolie brush is a drag essential. This is so nasty and gnarled. Use this for your eyebrows. When you are gluing, you want to slowly incorporate the glue into your brows so that they'll lay flat. I don't have super thick brows, that's why I fill mine in. But the brows that I have are pretty unruly because they're kind of shorter. So I used this to help lay them down, and that incorporated the glue into every single hair. Speaking of glue, I always use this glue stick brand. It's Avery. I saw a queen, I don't remember who, years ago, like my first 2 years of doing drag. They posted on their Instagram, has anyone seen these in the store? I don't see them anymore. I swear by these. These are some of the best cheapy alternatives for glue that I've ever used. It was one of the season 2 girls. I brought this up in a backstage of a nightclub and I got the dog read out of me where all these girls were like, she doesn't use that makeup, she uses this one, you're not a fan. And I'm like, I saw this on Instagram, I know it. And I was not about to go and dig through her stuff for the next hour just to prove a point. But this is a really good alternative. It's much cheaper than Elmer's. You can get these in huge lots on Amazon. I don't know what I'm gonna use these for ever. I am inclined to throw them out because I have so many and they're very old. They're probably not effective anymore, but I also have slight Great Depression energy, so I'm gonna hold on to them. I have a clear polish in here that I actually may keep. I didn't realize I had this. We'll have to see if it still is effective. I didn't do nails often, but if I did, I usually hand painted some acrylics. My cat. I hope none of them have been doing anything crazy back there. I just painted on some acrylics and then I'd glue those on or tape them every now and again. This is my contour that I used to use. It's very dark. Do I want this? This is old. I don't want that. I'm a very chronic blocker on this app, and that is something that I will never apologize for. I make commentary on the show, and I think that sometimes gives this false impression that people can then critique me as a human being. And mama, I am not the one. I clap back a lot and I clap back fiercely at people, not because I'm trying to be boomery or whatever, but because I do not believe that people should talk to me in a certain way. I regulate how people are able to engage with me. And if you disturb my peace enough times, or if you come at me sideways, I'm going to just block because you don't know me like that. Y'all can be cute, y'all can be silly, a little shade here and there is fine, I can take it. But when it's just an immediate sideways comment, I'm someone who's not gonna put up with that. This is the most important tool for a drag queen. Motherfreaking E6000. You will use this for everything from gluing rhinestones onto costumes or projects to sometimes using this in a pinch to fix a nail or something that's fallen off. I brought this to the club once and I had a nail that fell off and I just super glued that to my nail for a little bit because I had no choice. It was sitting in my bag. I have used this for so many construction projects, putting anything on a costume that needed to be glued, but you have to let it cure for like 24 hours, otherwise it doesn't work. If you get just a light enough smear, you can make something happen, but the chemicals are strong. Do not use this in an enclosed space. Open up a window. We're gonna hold on to this. This is important. I still use this for everything. Y'all get yourself a petite little handbag. Look at this. This is Buzz. I used this to hold on to my tips. I will never use this again, but this is vintage 2016. This is mine forever. Okay, this is a random one, but I'm gonna keep these. Probably because I'm a hoarder. I keep popsicle sticks for smoothing down my eyebrows. I've seen some queens use spatulas and stuff, like the little makeup spatulas. I just use these and then you literally just slurp that on down. These are great. Big drag queen essential is got to be hairspray. This is super old. I use this on my actual hair because it's that good. Use this on your wigs as the outer coat. Don't necessarily use this to build volume on the inner layers of your wig. When you're starting to do your teasing, you want to use a softer hairspray and then use this to build afterwards. Trust me, I learned the hard way. And also spray from far out because sometimes if you get too close, it'll leave these little dots of glue residue that can sometimes look like you got splashed with water, and the way that it dries ends up looking gummy. Always have some type of setting spray. This was something that I got that had glitter in it, and it smelled nice. I don't know if they still make this and you can tell how dusty it is. NYX had a dewy finish setting spray, and I was committed to this brand and this brand only because it was inexpensive. I just found one of the coolest lip kits that I ever had. The theme was highlighter, so it literally was a highlighter set. This is so cool. And then Super Stay Matte Ink by Maybelline. I used this as an alternative to some of the more high-end liquid lipsticks. I'm sure that this is so no, this needs to go. I got this in 2017. My hoarder tendencies always kick in when I'm throwing stuff out and I'm like, no, it is memories! If you're gonna do drag, you need some type of good contour kit. This is a KVD, it's very old, so I'm probably just gonna toss it because I don't see myself ever getting to the bottom of this pan. And I think I got this when I literally started drag. You can tell that I put some use into this, but a good contour kit is gonna last you a long time if you're using it right. One of my tricks for contouring was I had a piece of construction paper and I would cut in the shape that I wanted my cheeks to be. So I would press it up and then just swirl around with my contour brush until it was the intensity that I wanted it to be. And that's how I always got my contour to be right. And then blush afterwards on top. I used this to clean my makeup brushes, just a random little cup. I would put my solution inside of it and then swirl them around. This is helpful for when you're first starting and maybe you don't want to put a ton of money into makeup brush cleaners, but it is important to keep your brushes clean. Oh, look at this! This is a relic of a bygone era. This one was called Pastel Goth. Look at these colors! Oh, I could not right now. Look at this beautiful purple. I did not use these colors enough. I got it for the white. My God, these colors are nice. I'm gonna have to use these. Oh, little mirror for when I go out. It's got a polar bear on the front. I got this from Daiso because I thought it was cute. I forgot this was in here. Lots of stuff to throw out. For your brows, I highly recommend a dip brow pomade. You can tell that I've run the course of this, but I had this color actually for a drag. This was one of my buildable colors. So I had one that was light and then I had one that was dark, and then I would do kind of darker ends on each one of the wings. But I recommend a pomade. ABH is really great for that. It will not sweat off. You can perform in this. You can go for hours in this. And oh boy, have I gone for hours in this. That's what my eyebrows are now. Not this color, I go a little lighter than this, but it was really good for drag. And if you are gonna be performing, you're gonna want something that has staying power, and ABH has that. Sometimes a good pencil liner is all you need for your lips, and then you just do a little bit of cream on top, put some eyeshadow on top of that. I don't think there's much else that I need to clean out from this space, so I think we're going to call it here for our cleaning. I think I got a lot done. There are some really great tips and tricks for growing drag queens all over the internet. Use those resources. Do the thing that our elders that started drag weren't able to do. And that was by learning from a resource like the internet. I thankfully had YouTube while I was learning. So there were a lot of people that I would watch and get inspiration from. And I greatly appreciate all the tips that I learned from my sisters, but what I learned the most was on YouTube. So take advantage of those videos for the techniques, but also learn your face. Everybody's face is going to be different. There were things that I tried that were for contouring or highlighting or what have you that just didn't do it for me because my face shape wasn't what the video was calling for. And you'll find out those things the more you do it. Practice makes perfect. Go out there and be fantastic. Thank you for hanging out with me as I cleaned up my makeup space, and hopefully you learned something or two. See y'all on the flip.